What's up, everybody? Dead Girl here. Today we've hit the road and traveled a bit north. As you can see by our wintry quotes, we are no longer in Florida. That's right, we are here in Sleepy Hallow, New York. We're gonna check out the old Dutch church and the cemetery and tons of other things. With me as always is my amazing husband JD of Postmortem Effects.
Hey guys.
But let's explore this old town.
Yeah.
Historic town of Sleepy Hallow, settled in 1640. And this is a bustling little town. Over there is their high school and middle school all rolled into one. We are in Sleepy Hallow Cemetery. Back there is the old Dutch church. This whole area is just, I don't know. It's got this magical old-timey feel to it. This cemetery is pretty huge. I honestly was not expecting the size of it. They do have like a little welcome center where you can go and get a map, which we're going to do, but I wanted to stop here first because it was the first thing that we came across and I wanted to share this with you guys. Here's a little bit of a closer look at the old Dutch church. Now this cemetery is 90 acres. It's huge, and it's, like I said, it's gorgeous. You can see here all the tombstones are quite old. Some of them you can't even read anymore because over time they've just deteriorated. If you look back up the hill here, there's even more. Now Washington Irving is buried here. So for those of you that are interested, he actually wrote the legend of Sleepy Hallow that was actually based off some of the residents that lived here at that time. This place is gorgeous. I know I said that before, but it really is beautiful here. Very peaceful. Now the old Dutch church and the Sleepy Hallow Cemetery are off a very busy road right here. This church was built in 1837. There were some restorations done in 1897. The old church of Sleepy Hallow, Church of the Manor of Phillipsburg, erected by Frederick Phillips in 1697. So this church has stood here for years. This church is a registered national landmark, historical landmark even, and it's massive. And JD's got some stuff to show us, so let's follow him around here to the back. Oh, can we get a glimpse inside? Wow.
Right up against the glass.
Here we go. So this is to give you guys a glimpse inside of the church. It is not currently open, so we cannot get inside. But we're peeping through the windows like some peeping Toms.
Also staying off of the gravestones.
And we are being very mindful. Wow, look at this.
It's amazing.
It's beautiful in there. I wish we could go in.
It's the oldest church in New York.
Oh yeah, it's gorgeous. And for those of you who are like not cemetery aficionados or history buffs, this is truly something to behold. It's magnificent. Now, if you come along to the side of the old Dutch church, so right here is the front. If you come around to this side, you're going to come across a tombstone. Now this tombstone is by a woman whose name might sound a little familiar, at least the last name does, and that is Eleanor Van Tassel. That's right, she was the inspiration behind the character Katrina Van Tassel in the legend of Sleepy Hallow, written by Washington Irving. So, I mean, there's history all over this place here in New York. It's definitely a wonderful small little town. I'd highly recommend you visiting, but we're gonna wander around and see what else we can come up with. So just to give you guys a closer look, there she is, Eleanor Van Tassel. And as you can see, some of the wording is been, of course, aged and deteriorated over time, but this is still such a great piece of history. And to see it in person is just incredible. So as we're wandering through the Sleepy Hallow Cemetery, right next to the old Dutch church here, we found this tombstone, and I don't know who it belongs to. There's no distinct markings or anything like that on the back, but it is, I mean, the tree is literally grown up around this. Look at this. That is wild. I've never seen anything like that before. Now, if you are visiting cemeteries around the world, I want you to keep something in mind. Please be respectful. Don't touch. Don't wipe anything off. Leave it exactly how you found it. Don't leave any pennies or pebbles or coins or anything like that, because over time those things can deteriorate the marble that were used for the tombstone. So literally just kind of leave everything as is. It's that old rule, look, but don't touch. But yeah, that tombstone in the tree is pretty wild. So we just kind of wandered around the cemetery and we found the Irving plot, and there is a plaque on the inside, the Irving family grave plot, which was actually donated by the Irving family in 1972. Washington Irving's grave, Irving's home, Sunnyside, and the Old Dutch Church of Sleepy Hallow were all immortalized in the legend of Sleepy Hallow. They are all National Historical Landmarks. This is really awesome. Irving's grave plot receives perpetual care from local citizens and admirers of the author of the Sleepy Hallow legends. Sorry, I'm a little bit out of breath. We just hiked up the hill, and just to show you guys, we were way down there. So it's a lot. But this is definitely a very, very cool place to visit. I'm digging it. I'm really enjoying this cemetery. Now, there is a map that you can get, which we have not gotten yet. We just kind of came upon this by a happy coincidence. But that's pretty awesome. Now, while Washington Irving and his family may be buried over there, throughout the cemetery, there are many more famous people buried inside. Of course, there's Washington Irving, Andrew Carnegie, Walter Chrysler, Samuel Gompers, Elizabeth Arden, Leona Helmsley, Brooke Astor, and William Rockefeller, just to name a few. That's pretty neat. I'm not sure where their graves are, but they're in here. As we wander around Sleepy Hallow Cemetery, JD came across this little nugget, and I thought it was really awesome. So right here, it says Crane Way. And then here, they've got Ichabod running from the Headless Horseman. That's pretty awesome. So funny enough, if you come up from down here, like there's parking area down there, and you walk all the way up, walk straight back past the Old Dutch Church, there's actually a sign that points to Irving, and on the other side of that sign is the image of Crane Way, and then the Headless Horseman and Ichabod Crane running from him. So this actually will point you right up here to Irving's grave that we visited a little while ago. Now here's a bit of knowledge for you. The Sleepy Hallow Cemetery was established in 1849. It is a non-denominational and non-profit cemetery. You can be cremated here. You can be buried in a standard plot. You can be put into a mausoleum. They've got many options should you choose this as your final resting place. But this place is just wow. I didn't mean for this to be mostly Sleepy Hallow Cemetery, but this is where we spent the last couple of hours just kind of wandering around. And I needed to share this because this place is just gorgeous. I know I've said that a few times, and I apologize for being repetitive, but just look at this. Now, as you're leaving or coming into the cemetery, depending on which way, you'll come across this Legends and Lore Headless Horseman. Tethers his horse nightly among graves in this churchyard, according to the legend of Sleepy Hallow. Author, Washington Irving, New York Folklore, William C. Pomeroy Foundation, 2019. And if you're looking, going out, over there, you will see the churchyard.
I want to know which one he tethers to, because I gotta tell you, unless it's one of these poles, it'd be really hard to tether to one of these.
I don't know. I mean, could have been any of them. You never know. Could have been all of them. It is Sleepy Hallow. As we said before, this cemetery is 90 acres. And when most folks think of the legend of Sleepy Hallow, they think of a bridge that's kind of like this. This is what most folks come here to see. They come here thinking that this is the actual bridge from the legend of Sleepy Hallow, when the reality is that bridge is located in a different location and was swept away many a years ago. There goes JD running across. Now, it is a beautiful bridge. It's got this beautiful stream here, and I can only imagine how pretty it is when it's lush and full of greenery. Now, this is actually on your way out of the cemetery. So if you park in their parking area and you start to drive out, you will come across this bridge here. And again, this is not the actual Legend of Sleepy Hallow Bridge, nor is it in the proper location. That location is elsewhere, which we're going to see if we can find that here in just a bit. Here is the entrance to the Sleepy Hallow Cemetery. We're in the winter season, so they close at 4:30. Here is their, I'm not sure what to call this, visitor center. They do have maps that you can get that will tell you where everyone is buried. They are just paper mats. They do offer lantern tours that you can purchase as well. I didn't see any going on for the time that we're here, just to show you guys. And then here is one of their paper maps that you can take to show you where everything is. Alright gang, that's going to do it for our trip to Sleepy Hallow and to the Sleepy Hallow Cemetery and to, well, what most folks consider the Sleepy Hallow Bridge. Unfortunately, it got super dark and super cold out, and us being from Florida, well, I can't take the cold like I used to, so I didn't really get to explore too much after that. We had dinner at a nice local bar called Tap, which was amazing, and kind of just back at the hotel, just relaxing right now. Thank you guys so much for coming with us on this journey. I appreciate your views and your time. And until next time, boys and girls, keep it spooky. Bye.